Jokester.
Welcome
Back.
to the Daytime Podcast.
Podcast. What does it fructose?
What?
Podcast.
Podcast.
Guys, guess who's here today?
Toad.
Little toads.
Little toads.
Toads.
But how's things? How have you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I've been good. I was good. I was just in London there visiting.
How were you?
My brother. Yeah. He moved there for work recently. And so I came to visit him. You know, Wagwans, you know how it is.
Props to your brother. Left you in the dust.
Left me in the dust.
Yeah.
Nice jokes.
You're left behind. He's living his best life.
Yeah, fucking pain in the arm and the leg for fucking London, living in London. But who knows, you know, who knows what the future entails for anybody. So, but yeah, no, shout out to Boss, you know, did a big thing for himself there. But yeah, no, London was calm. It was pretty good. Didn't do too much. Hang around with some friends, hang out with my brother, and had food. Shout out to Enish Common Garden. I do highly recommend that place. It is very cool because the vibes are there.
So now that we give them a shout out, it's going to be full all the time and we won't be able to go.
Oh yeah, you know, we're so big that place is going to be swarmed now. Like Tay-Time shouted them out. It's done for them. It's done for them. Like, but no, so Enish opened 2 new places in Central, both Common Garden and Knightsbridge. I didn't go to Knightsbridge one, but I went to Common Garden one. That one is more like a lounge. They like have shisha, they have drinks, you know, obviously they have Nigerian food. Come on. You know, that's what we're going there for. And it's just vibes.
Do you guys smoke shisha in Nigeria much?
Yeah, they do. I think they do. It's like more of a imported thing now, you know, like imported, like, you know, it's one of those things that like people, all they do just to have money and spend money on drinks, like, you know, like anything, like just to show that you're a baller and you have money, Jew. But yeah, no, that's the idea behind this. So, but it was calm still. Yeah. You know, like London is always busy. It's just,
I think like London is definitely the place to be for food wise. Like I feel like every restaurant that I'm seeing open up is London. Done. I'm done.
Well, that's because like your TikTok sees that you like it and then you send in, so it keeps feeding
you. Yeah, okay,
out.
but I'm liking the one Dublin place that I see a month, and I'm like, why don't we have stuff like that?
Yeah, I know London definitely has so much more food spots, like a lot. Like I went to this place, Jamaican Beef Patty Co. or something like that. Oh my God. Usually I actually don't like Jamaican beef patties because I think the Nigerian one is better. But damn, was this one good. Oh, it was so, I wanted to go back and get the curried goat, but I didn't get the chance. But oh my God, that beef patty was good. So I'm just giving you guys some free games, spending some free recommendations there for you to go check out, you know. Another one of us is going to London soon, so like, but they already have their own plans, so that's a whole different story. So yeah, she won't be able to tell us all about all the places. She won't be able to verify the places I just told you, but trust me, at my stomach, I love to eat and I have good taste buds. Those are some hot spots.
I'd love to go to the shisha lounge, but I just don't know if we get the chance to, because like you said, like we're literally packed. We've booked like lunch dinner type thing, brunch, whatever. So
yeah. But besides that, we came in today with a little special topic for you. Like the focus. So we've kind of like done Romanian stuff. We did like the stereotypes. We've done like kind of like a few things about here and there, you know, because like, you know, obviously one of us is Romanian. It's not me.
Really?
Yeah.
What? But I'm Nigerian.
Oh, really? Yeah. Chifach. Salute. Actually, funny enough, while I was in London, there was this guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but like he does these TikToks.
Shouting him out.
I'm not shouting him out. What the hell? He does these TikToks. He's pretty big on TikTok anyway, on this side of the world, and he like was asking me and my brother random questions, you know, whatever, blah blah blah, and then he was saying that he actually lived in Romania before, like in Bucharest. And then I was like, oh, cool, you know, like, and then I was telling him that like my girl is like Romanian, and then it's like, and like talking about, and he's like, oh, vorbește românești, or whatever, you know.
You get shy.
And then I was just like,
finish the sentence.
No. And I was like, a little bit. He's like, so no. And I was like, yeah. But funny enough, like obviously I have a little bit more of a better understanding since I hear all the time. But no. So and then they're asking me like, what kind of Romanian foods like do I know Romanian? I was like, oh yeah, obviously like mamaliga, sarmale, you know, the whole thing, corn, you know, everything, you know, salami de biscuit, everything, you know. So it's kind of like that was pretty funny. But yeah, no. So like we're
so funny.
Going to Nicoletta's homeland because.
Do I find like so interesting that I wouldn't be speaking a lot of Romanian, you know, in our house because it's just me. But I don't know how Farouk is able to pick up on the language so quickly. Like if there's people walking by, he'd probably hear it before I do, and I'm like, well, how do you even know? Why? How did you even hear that? You know, and he's just able to
It's a radar,
pick
bro.
it up so fast. And I'm like, what? Crazy.
It's a radar.
But because he's pointing it out, it's making me realize that there's so many Romanians around us at all times.
There's so many Romanians in London as well. It's crazy, bro.
I can imagine.
But yeah, no. Today we're going to be talking about Nicoletta and her history growing up in Romania, and I'll try to make it as comedic as possible for you guys. You know, like so it's just not boring. You're like, oh my god, her childhood, well, whatever. But yeah, no. Let's start it off. How was it growing up in Romania? Like, tell us where you grew up. Tell us.
I feel like we did an episode on this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, tell us, like, your earliest childhood memories that's, like, very distinctive. That's very specifically Romanian as well.
On the spot.
You know, like, this isn't we don't care about your backstory. We know your backstory.
Okay.
We want, like, the funny childhood. Like, what's distinctive about you, about your childhood growing up in Romania, in the shticks, in a village, in Utvin?
So yeah, like, see, because the second you said that, and I'm imagining like autumn now, and it's like, you know, rainy type season, and I was saying this to you the last day, like one of like a really loving memory that I have that I had to explain to for how it works. Like basically, everyone in the village who had a cow every morning, right, would bring it out for the guy who takes the cows. Like, I don't know why he's called. The guy who takes the cows. I don't know what he's called.
So it's not a farmer. It's not a shepherd. It's not a herder.
There's a name.
It's just like, so he goes and takes everybody's cows.
He takes everyone's cows who has a cow. But like, he doesn't even care. It's just like, he just walks with his, and then they just keep.
And then he's like, oh, I got some cows here. You're trying to, you know, he's like, you know how you, what's the car share? Ride sharing thing, kind of like that. It's like, oh yeah, you can just add your cow to the back of this.
I think, like, I don't know. I really wonder how it came about. Yeah. Like, how was it decided? Oh yeah, this one man will just take everyone's cows. I don't really know. But he would walk around and people would take out their cows every morning and they would just join the herd. Yeah. Herd.
Yeah.
And then they would take them out, like.
And he just takes them for a leisurely stroll for the day, or
no, they're like out to Bascut, like they're like
Bascut,
like they're eating grass.
Oh, okay, like to the farm, whatever, to graze.
They're in a field.
Yeah, yeah.
Know?
So he takes them out to graze. Yes. Yeah, takes them out to graze.
Yeah. So every morning, whatever, everyone does that. But then obviously there's homes that don't have cows, right? Yeah. And our home didn't have a cow. We didn't have a cow.
Oh, you guys didn't have a cow.
We didn't.
So you're too broke to have a cow.
Yeah, we had other stuff though. But yeah, that. So every morning, if no one was in the front of the house already, you'd shout like, "Oh, the cows are coming! Like the cows are coming!"
Wait, you shouted the cows are coming in English?
No.
Really?
Vin vacile, whatever.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So basically, you said that, and then someone would go at the front of the house, and like, you know, if it was gated or whatever, and we'd have a stick, and there was like a few sticks that kind of stayed compiled at the corner of the house.
You gotta have your weapons handy ready.
Exactly. A lot of parents beat their kids with those, but that's a different story. So anyways, you took one of those and went outside your house and made sure that the cows didn't come near your home because there was shit everywhere, right? And it would just be nasty and smelly.
But like, if you hit the cow while it's walking, isn't it likely for it to just shit right in front of your house and then it's nasty?
I don't know, actually.
Like,
Do you think I was ever in charge of? Actually, I was in charge of her
really?
before.
They let you?
They let me.
With your small ass being like, Vivacile, trying to smack the cow. Be like, get away from my house. And then the cow shits in front of your house.
And then what do?
What do you do now?
What? Like, I don't remember. I think I was in charge only a handful of times when it was like absolute necessity.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just sit at the front and like make sure they don't get near you. And then they'd go for the day.
Yeah.
And then they would come back. And the thing is, like, if us kids were outside playing in the evenings, we'd see the cows coming from like really far away. So we'd like go inside and shout like Viva Chile, whatever. And then someone would come at the front, like a parent or whatever. Someone
Whack
responsible.
Whack.
Yeah, and make sure that the cows are going in. Or if your cow is there, you collect your cow.
But then isn't the road just filled with shit then?
Yes. Actually.
That's
yes, Balaga, to be specific.
Like every morning, like this is happening.
Yeah, every morning and evening.
Yeah, so the cows are just shitting across.
Yeah.
So what's the point of whacking them if they're gonna shit on the streets anyway?
Well, because it's not right outside your door.
But if you whack the cow in front of your door, it's shitting in front of your door.
It usually doesn't. Like, it gets scared.
And just like scurries up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
oh
like,
my God.
How about the ones a little bit further out? Like, okay, they're not right beside the door, but it's still shit like on your direct in front.
It is because we didn't have that much space. As you can imagine, it was just shitting like a, 2
Instead of directly
away.
Stepping poop, you still you have like some warning.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're just shit all over the place. And sometimes, oh my God, they would get really crazy. Sometimes like start fighting with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like riding each other, whatever they're
doing. Cows.
Cows can be quite unpredictable, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun little memory that I had randomly.
So you guys have a lot of. You guys in your little Utvin, you had a lot of like animals. Then you're all like essentially farming, like self-sufficient. Like you had to have your own little animals. So how was that? Like, did you guys buy the animals, raise the animals? What was the story there?
Yeah, you usually did. And like, say for example, if someone's cow had a calf, and I witnessed the birth of a calf before, that was really traumatizing. Am I still eating beef? Yeah. Yeah, it's just a way of life,
It just shits itself out.
Yeah, it was really scary. Like, it was so scary. Anyways, basically, like if my neighbor had a calf or like pigs and then they would sell them and you buy them usually with money because these things are not like a tray, they're a bit bigger, more expensive, and you would that's how you would acquire the animals, or they would bring them from like villages nearby. But I would say a lot of homes were self-sufficient, but obviously with supermarkets and stuff being like becoming more and more prevalent, that
you didn't need as much as well. So then I also know that you ate like a lot of fruit growing up, so you had a lot of fruit trees. What kind of fruit trees did you and how did that work?
I did. And you know what, that's one thing that I really do miss about growing up with like fruit around the home, because obviously when they're in season, that's the only time you can have them. Like only summertime, they're not growing other times of the year.
Actually, were these trees planted or were they?
Yeah.
So, but like, it takes forever for them to be big.
I mean, like grandparents were there for a time.
Oh, that's
like,
true.
Grandparents,
I'm
parents,
like,
myself,
because I'm like, in your generation, that tree was not growing very big to give you guys fruit.
No, obviously not. And even at that, they weren't very big. They were still like quite small.
Yeah.
So we had like an apple tree. We had a massive pear tree that my dad fell out of 3 times and broke. He broke like his arm, his knee. It was a very big tree. They should have
chopped that tree down. Me personally, after the third time, that tree is getting chopped down.
At one point, they did actually. It was quite sad.
You can't make a fool out of me 3 times and still stand up. Let me know.
But yeah, it had the juiciest pears. Oh my God, it was so yum. Apples, plums. Plums were like all over the streets, everywhere.
Yeah.
So us as kids running about, mucking about, we would
pick them up from the ground and ate them.
From the tree.
Okay, you said all over the streets. So I was like,
yeah, like there were trees, like plum
trees. Yeah. I was like, they're just falling on the ground. You guys are just like, oh, you're that desperate.
Sometimes you pick it off the ground, like if it is looking juicy.
Hard times in Romania.
Plums were like huge. Like I feel like everyone had a plum tree because they were like they're outside or indoors, and everyone was eating plums, selling plums, whatever. And us kids would kind of like steal from like other people's trees.
But you already had your own tree with plums. Why are you stealing from other people's trees with plums?
I wanted it there and then when I was mucking about the streets.
Streets of Romania. It's a tough world out here.
And there's this older man, and he had a cherry tree, but they weren't like sweet cherries. They were kind of sour. I don't know if there is sour cherries or not.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'm the wrong person to ask. To be honest, I've probably never had a cherry in my life. So like, I'm terrible
are,
for
like,
this.
The best fruit ever.
I don't know, any berry type fruit, like just always like.
Guy, we literally come from eating nuts and berries.
And killing animals as well with our bare hands, so we can eat. So.
But berries too, and nuts.
But
anyways, this guy had a tree. One of my friends climbed it, and then the guy like came out with his stick that he was probably used for cows. Now that I think about it, and like shooed us away. He was so mad, and I was like, "Well, now that I look back at it,
you guys were robbing his cherry tree."
But it's not that serious. He was never climbing that.
Bunch of random kids just coming in and eating my cherries. Nah, get out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't put the tree down for you.
But most people didn't mind. Actually, there was one time when we came from school and someone had strawberries. You know, they grow from the ground.
Yeah.
And it was like a huge thing of filled with them as we came out of school.
Oh, like a bucket? Like after they've already picked it, or just the bushes?
Okay. Bushes, right? Yeah. And my friend jumped inside. Like he hopped the gate inside. Oh, that was a bad day. That lady came out screaming.
I'd say so.
Obviously, the parents knew straight away because it's a small village. Everybody knows.
Yeah, absolutely. She grabbed him by the ear, went into the house, and went like, "Yo, your son stole my strawberries. I will have your firstborn daughter. Thank you."
But that's a really fun memory. And like there was a walnut tree as well, and we loved picking walnuts from that. The lady didn't mind, and we'd like open them up with like a rock, just like smash it, and oh my god, the best. Like I just love that we had that. And in our garden as well, we had peas, like sweet peas.
Okay.
And I love like
the little green ones.
Yeah.
How do those look when they grow? Actually, now that I think about it, I can't think of it. Like I always get them in like either the frozen bag or whatever. So yes, it's in the pod thing. Yeah, peas in the pod. You see, you guys didn't caught me out there. I know you guys are typing away furiously, being like, he's a dummy. No, I remember.
I mean, I get it because most people, when I tell them I had walnuts like from a tree, they're like, walnuts grow on trees. I'm like, huh?
How else do you think they come to fruition?
Yeah. So we like. It grows and then the pods and whatever. And I would always, we didn't have running water, so our toilet was in the back garden, right?
You guys had to use a pump, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a pump in the garden. We had the toilet out.
Oh, yeah. So you pooped in the hole.
We pooped in the hole. Yeah. Yeah. So every time I would pretend I'm going to the toilet.
Wait. If you pooped in the hole.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have toilet paper?
We did.
I'm just curious. I was like, are you guys just using straight up water? Like, obviously, like water's can't. We use water in Nigeria.
No, we had toilet paper.
Yeah, you guys had actual toilet paper. So you put your toilet paper rolls inside that little shack that you shot. But then who cleaned out the thing?
So there's another story, right? We had one before and it got like out of hand. So it gets covered up with mud. Yeah. And then another hole is created. Yeah. Right? And I fell with my foot into that.
I would have to amputate that foot.
I wanted to.
Because you can never.
I wanted to.
No matter how clean you think it is, mentally it's never clean again.
You've massaged my feet.
Yeah, I'm chopping off that foot.
I cried so much. Like the trauma was.
That's almost reek. Because David, there must have been poo that was there for time. Oh my god.
Disgusting.
It was fermenting. Like.
No, that's disgusting. My mom had to clean me up.
Oh, you're a poor mother.
I know. But because our toilet was out in the back garden.
Were you barefoot or you had shoes on? I was
barefoot. Well, I had a slipper. That was gone. Yeah. It was done.
So the slipper went away, but not the foot.
Unfortunate. What was I saying? Yeah, I was pretending to run out to go to the bathroom to eat all the peas. And my grandparents caught me because they were, what are you doing? Because every time that they would collect peas to open them up to cook with them, a lot of them were empty. Where's the pea?
So you took just the peas out of the pod. You didn't even take the whole pod. Like you just left evidence framing yourself. Deep that you did not think. You just went ooh, scoop, and then you left the pod. If you had taken the whole pod and gotten rid of it, they would have never known. You left incriminating evidence. It's like going. It's like going to someone's house to kill them, killing them, and then being like, left a sign on the door. I killed someone in here.
But why couldn't it have been someone else? Why did it have to be me?
Because it was everyone else would be smart enough to take the whole pod, not just the peas.
Well,
you thought you were slick, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna have some peas. But they're delicious. Oh my god, those are the best peas. Like, delicious. And strawberries as well. I would leave like the whole bush empty. They didn't mind that though that much.
Yeah, but the bush empty makes sense, okay, because it's like, oh, it just didn't grow or whatever. It's slow, whatever.
I'm pretty sure I left one or two. Let's be real.
Oh, Nicola, that's terrible. You're not cut out for this thing right there. No. Oh my days.
But it was funny though. Like, yeah.
Just incriminating yourself, just taking just the peas and not the pod, the whole thing.
Yeah.
No.
And I would do the same with oh my god, I was such a dumb kid. But like we had for our Christmas tree, we'd put chocolate in it and we would like wrap it, like we'd wrap a string around it and then
this is like the little kiss ones, the little small ones, or actual just.
So they're called salwane, right? And they're specifically for Christmas. So they're only out at Christmas time.
Isn't it the like thing that's shaped like this?
No, buddy. We didn't have that. That's too fancy.
What is it?
I'll show you after.
Yeah, okay.
I might include a picture from putting this as a clip where we put those all over the tree to decorate the tree.
Okay.
Right? And then I would sneak in and like steal just the chocolate from inside.
Oh, yeah, you take a wrapper. Yeah, sure, it makes sense. If you're doing the same thing with peas and pods, makes sense. Just the wrapper. They're like, oh, you're like, you'll never know. The wrapper is still there. Like in her brain, she genuinely was like, I can't get in trouble because they will never find out because the wrapper will be there. Don't mind that they will try to go to the wrapper and be like, hey, this wrapper is empty. No.
I wonder.
As long as the wrapper is there, I'm not getting in trouble.
And I wasn't like tall enough to reach at the top ones either. So it was all the bottom ones that were taken.
So clearly someone of this height had us done this.
Yeah.
I
wasn't very slick.
No, you were not slick at all.
Not a very bright kid.
Not at all. Not one bit. No, but then overall, like when it comes to all those things, like, and then how was it? So was there much kids in the area that you all hang around with, and you all went to the same school and everything as well?
I mean, same school, like for sure.
Yeah.
Basically, across from where I lived were like my best friends, right? So there was one guy, he was my age, we were in the same class, we were like really good friends. And then he had like one younger brother and like 6 sisters.
Damn, big ass family.
It was a huge family.
I say everyone had pretty big families, to be honest, though. In general, that tends to be the case when it comes to like poorer people. Even we were the same back in age. Like we just.
These people were quite well off in terms of like our little village. Like they were able to they made a villa and thing for themselves.
A villa.
They had like a tiny little shack type home, and then they built like a whole massive home right next to it.
Cool.
And I have a story about that too. But yeah, so there was us always together, but we were at the like butt of the village. Like there was nothing past us other than fields.
Yeah.
And we were quite far from other kids. So other kids were like, there was like what's it called, like a football field where they would hang out, but that was quite far. We weren't really allowed to go that far. So it was just kind of us. And no one really liked us in the class, really, in school either.
I can see why.
Yeah, so we never really met up. It was just us. Like me, they adopted me over basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Damn. And then what's the story about the villa?
Oh, it's actually not funny. It's a bit like crazy. But basically they were building the home like 3 stories, right?
Yeah.
So
3-story house. Dang.
Yeah, I know. It was really big. Like it was really big. And we as kids were like running up and running on the little planks. Like, do you know the wooden things when you put
Yeah,
up,
when
like,
you're building a house.
Yeah. So we were running on those unsupervised. Really stupid.
Really stupid.
Really stupid.
Really stupid.
So we were on the third, like the very, very final boss, right? And my friend's younger brother, who was maybe like 5 at the time, fell all the way to the bottom. Like,
oh.
man, on concrete, because there was no floor, no carpet, no nothing.
He just went,
like,
I know the sound of that thump, that
it
thud.
was bad.
Everyone, for a second, everyone's like, he's dead. He's 1 billion% dead.
We literally it was just quiet. And then all of a sudden he's like,
nah, kids are resilient. He's like,
and the cries, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Hysterically, like just tears. And he was bleeding as well. His head was bleeding. And, you know, his mom obviously came and, oh my God, the shit that we got. But like,
so what?
But like, why were we left supervised? But like, also, kids weren't supervised like that.
Obviously,
you
way
know,
back from
like,
the day, no one's supervising kids
whatever.
now. Like, it's a different time now versus when we were all younger. We were all just roaming about the streets and stuff.
Exactly. And we were really creative. We came up with all these stupid little games. Like, there was some, we would like play a lot of pretend, you know, like that we had like tiny little sticks and we'd make like a home, or like furniture that was left out and about that we'd use to make a home, and then we'd compare homes.
When you look back at it, those furniture must have been disgusting.
Probably, yeah.
But you don't think about those things when you're a kid.
No, God, no.
But like now, I'd never touch any of them. I'm like, the germs on.
Oh my God, that reminds me. Oh, one time, ew, there was like this river flowing, and it was like our garden was huge in the back garden, and then right after that was like a river type thing, and us kids like ran at the bottom near the thing, and we would like dig holes next to it to look for treasures.
Treasures.
And we were so mucky. Like, there was like black shit all over our hands, like faces, whatever. And I remember one time like their mom came over and I ran to my house to wash myself.
Like,
so for her, the mom being like, see, at least she's smart. She went to clean the evidence. Y'all stupid. You shouldn't do shit. It was so stupid.
And then how would, like, obviously, like, you have been like a kid in Romania in a long time. Well, how do you think the contrast would be now in comparison to then? Like, obviously, like, your cousin is out there, you know, and everything like that and everything. So what do you think the contrast is now for kids living there? Do you think it's definitely a lot? It's obviously, like, especially since not as much people live in small towns, like villages like Utvin, a lot of them would go to the bigger cities and stuff like that. Like, do you think it's a massive difference, like, night and day? Like,
I think so because I know that my cousin didn't have the same experience that I did growing up, because like you said, things were progressing very fast. You know, very quickly roads were put in place, like more shops were opened up, like,
so no need for trading cows and calves.
No, it wasn't like
eggs.
that. And like, now there is laws put in place that you can't even own animals
but then what do people who still live in the village do then?
You need to pay.
Oh my God.
You need to pay for owning an animal.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different things, like advancements. Like his childhood completely different. He had like a tiny glimpse, but he was way too small to remember.
Yeah.
And we would just play with him and bully him because he was tiny and he would tell on us every time. But like, I think that a lot of, you know, kids in the West probably don't get to live like that
either
anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like,
you know,
like, even like kids do still play outside and stuff like that, like even in our state now, like there's a few kids who like can like cycle, all those things, but that it's definitely a lot different from when we were younger. Like we were kind of like more forced because we didn't have enough factors keeping us inside, you know, like they do now. Like, whereas, and then obviously like parents are also a little bit more skeptical about letting their kids out now and stuff like that. So like all these things that kind of come in and like keep them in, so it makes a massive difference. But then how was the difference for you going from childhood in Romania, which was very bare bones, and then coming into Ireland at like what, you were like 10 years old, and then you're still a kid then. So like, how was that then for you in comparison?
Oh my God, it was so different. It was so different because like, I felt like, oh my God, I felt like Ireland was so advanced.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, there's roads everywhere. Like we just had dirt roads and fields.
This is Tralee.
Yeah, this is Tralee. Like,
this isn't even a city.
And we were living near the Honda place. We were living with my aunt for a while, and like, they had running water, which is something we didn't have. Like, they had, all these luxuries of indoor toilets and
no cold showers.
And, like, we didn't have internet in our home in Romania at all. I went the first time that the internet came about. It was like, the wire that had to be pulled?
Yeah, the landline,
yeah. So they had that, and then we would play Barbie games there. And that's it. That's all we did. But it wasn't even entertaining for long periods of time.
Yeah.
We'd just do it like one evening and then never be inside again.
But was it like technology culture shock when you came here for you?
Yeah,
like
because
it was like
there's like these PSPs,
and you've never seen them before.
And the thing is, I was afraid to play with them.
Were you like I could like were you like that like Neanderthal brain? You're like, what is this thing? What a screen, and you're like, do you know this?
And you touch it.
And all this other stuff, like,
it wasn't touched back then, but it was like, oh my God, it moves and stuff. Like, so my cousin had a Nintendo that he left in our village in Romania, because we didn't have TVs and we had like TV channels. But I was never allowed to play it, obviously, so I never got the chance to get the hang of it. But I remember vaguely him playing it. So when I came here and there was like these tiny little things, I was really afraid to play with it, because I was like, I'll just embarrass myself because I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, you don't know how to use it, kind of
thing. And like,
like,
I don't know what to do. For me, it wasn't like, oh, obviously this does this and you do this. It was just like, I'll just not like do that. I'll break it or something, So I just kind of stayed away from all that stuff.
Because it's just such a massive, like, you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And then how about then childhood, like snacks and like drinks and stuff like that? Like what is like, if you say these things, like Romanian kids, like when we were like, oh my God, like yes, that thing,
So obviously, other than the stuff off the land, which actually not everyone had a privilege of, obviously, but you
guys were farmers, so of course.
Yeah, I guess. But like, obviously, it's whatever my mom was cooking. There was like, we ate so much. Like, there was like, we had a lot of corn, so we ate a lot of corn. We had a lot of potatoes.
Did you get sick of corn and potatoes?
No, I love corn and potatoes. But I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm cooking it different. It was always the same, and sarmale and stuff like that. But I remember, like, so in terms of buying stuff, we had pufuleți, which was the, you know what it is?
Yeah, the little. It's like
corn. It's a corn.
No, it's like a cheese puff that's corn.
Yeah,
that's the best way to put it, because it looks like a cheese puff, it's like but it's a puff, but it's corn.
Yeah, and I'd buy it for the toys inside. They're all so shit. Like, they're all so shit.
Oh, let's used to have toys inside.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh my God, that's a safety hazard, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Kids are just.
You get it for the toy. Of course you get it for the toy. And then like, if you're really bougie, like special treat was like, the Kinder Joy.
Yeah.
Like with the toy inside.
Yeah.
Delicious. Pufarin as well. There were also kind of like puff things, but smaller. What else do we have?
Any drinks, like, because like, like Nigerians have like Fanta or like Mirinda, all these things.
Yeah,
like,
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
That was delicious. And what's the other one? Mirinda. I think we had Mirinda as well.
Yeah.
We didn't really drink fizzy drinks and stuff though.
Yeah.
It was like a special occasion, or people are coming over, and my mom baked stuff.
Was there any, actually, now that you say it, was there any kind of like restaurants like back in the day, like specifically Romanian, that like you guys would be like, oh my God, I'd love to go here for my birthday? Because like, for example, in Nigeria,
that's so interesting.
In Nigeria, there was like Mr. Biggs and Tantalizer, and I used to love those as a kid. So they don't exist anymore, I'm pretty sure. But like, those like were the big places that like kids or families would like, especially a kid, like, because not everyone had money, like, and we didn't have money. So like, those were like anytime my parents were taking me, I'm like, oh my God, Did you guys have anything like that in like Romania, where it's like this specific restaurant maybe in the city of Timișoara that you're like, oh my God, like I went here for my birthday, or like we went and ate here. Like
I think a lot of the kids would go to McDonald's.
McDonald's.
McDonald's was huge. Like, 'cause, you know, they had the silly little clown,
Yeah.
and then you had the balloons with the straw on them, and like they even had a little playground inside McDonald's for kids. I never had my birthday there, and now that I think about it, like in our village there wasn't a restaurant, period. There wasn't anywhere to go sit down and eat. There is now.
Yeah. In Udvin?
Yeah, they have like a little pizzeria.
I don't remember seeing it.
They do with the like umbrellas and stuff. So they didn't have that. And for birthdays it would be like at home.
Yeah.
And then your mom would make like, you know, bread, and then she'd put tomato, and like she'd grate some cheese, and like
Pizza.
that's what you're eating.
Pizza.
I mean, technically it was better. It was so much better. And like you didn't really have all these kids coming to your house. I just had some neighbors, and I had my cousins.
Yeah,
you
good
know,
deal. It was a lot simpler, especially for parents. It was a lot cheaper, guys. Now you gotta fucking book a thing and have all these kids come over and do this. Like, oh, you have to have little gift bags and all the stuff. No.
That's so silly.
Oh
like, what's a gift bag?
You know,
Wait, what's a gift bag?
You came and you ate food. That is your gift.
Yeah, like, is that not enough?
You know.
And then like as well, there's that like who pays for stuff. So I remember when I moved to Ireland, right, and my mom did my birthday one time, and I didn't really speak English, and I invited some girls from school. I wasn't even friends with them.
You're like, I can't even really speak English, but you know, my mom is saying that I should invite people over for my birthday, so please come. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Please. My mom wants me to have friends.
It was so embarrassing, but it was only a few, right? Some obviously I was really good friends with. Like there was some girls, but then some I didn't know. So it was like 5 or 6 people. And my mom paid for all of them, right? Because like for your birthday, you pay for everyone's stuff.
Yeah.
And here that's not really the case.
Well, like you do, like
here, like it's usually like everyone pays for their own.
Like when I was growing up as well, like, well, not in Nigeria, but like here, everyone had to, like, whoever was hosting had to pay for the kids. You know?
No, but I mean, like, we went to the cinema and my mom paid for everyone's ticket.
Yeah.
Type thing. Okay,
that's standard. That's standard, I think. Yeah.
But as an adult as well.
As an
like adults pay for each other's stuff on their birthday. Like if you want people to come to your birthday at a restaurant, I'm not footing a €500 bill.
No, absolutely not. Like we are like, you guys should be offering to pay for me. Yeah. But like obviously like because I remember like when all those, because I think the last birthday party I had was when I was 10 and I got my PlayStation 3. That was in Fun Zone.
Stop it.
Yeah, you know when it used to, you know, the Fun Zone, obviously, you know, Fun Zone used to have all the like kids stuff. It was a kids place.
Don't scare.
So like, yeah, my parents paid obviously for like for all these kids from my primary school to come through, and I was there, and the Fun Zone staff gave me a present as well.
Did?
It was a fish. Yeah, it was Chomper, my little fish, like plushie.
And my mom was probably working there.
Actually, you know, probably, you know, and I should never know. Like,
you turned 10 there. I turned 10 there. No, actually, she wasn't there working there. Though.
Okay, I turned 10 there anyway, but yeah, so like, you know, like, but I remember my parents paid for everything, and then, you know, like, the thing about doing those things is that then they would make the gift bags to give to the kids, to like for the stuff, you know, and all that stuff. So like, you know, very different, obviously, from like in Nigeria, obviously, like, you just have people come over, you feed them, and that's
a lot cheaper, you know, than.
No, it's way more expensive in this day and day. Having a kids party, oof, fuck, man.
And I feel like as well, you know, with social media, you're trying to one up the other and like what's going up online. Like, you know, back in the day,
Kylie Jenner and Stormi.
Yeah, nobody would know.
Absolutely no. But like, yeah, no. So like, then what would you say, like, obviously to kind of close us out, like, was the most defining thing about your child, like, that you think, like obviously, like, tell us whether you preferred your childhood in Romania or obviously growing up in Ireland, and then like what you think the like defining thing about it for you was that like sticks in your brain every time?
I think being outside was huge, like because it allowed our creative brains to work times 10, you know, and I feel like that made us really patient, like a lot more patient than I see kids today throwing tantrums and stuff. We didn't do any of that, and I think it's because the attention span is so much lower.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I loved being outside. Like every season we just, you know, go outside, and like during winter, you know, I think I was saying before, there was this lake that like completely iced over, and we just go to skate there with our shoes on, you know.
Shoes on.
And
Did anyone ever fall?
all the time. Yeah.
Like, I mean, inside like the water.
No, it was actually solid.
Damn, solid like that.
Solid. Like
Damn.
when it got
like,
really cold, and we had like snow up to our knees, and we'd walk to school, you know. So yeah, it was kind of like that. I loved that, and I feel a huge sense of like gratefulness to be able to experience it and still have it in my lifetime, because I know a lot of people today can't relate. Like it's like when, you know, you see like a chicken packaged on, you know, the aisle or whatever in a supermarket, and it's like, most people have no idea how this gets here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what the chicken goes through or
it goes
whatever.
through and everything, yeah.
Because I've witnessed, you know, like I said, the birth of a calf, or like, you know, a chicken flying around headless.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
The whole thing.
A pig every single winter pretty much.
Yeah.
Getting like chopped up and stuff. And it's just like, I'm grateful that I'm able to have experienced that life. And like having no running water and things like that you don't really hear of today, to be able to compare and be grateful for my life today.
Character building.
It really is. It really is.
Character.
It makes you really grateful for such small things.
Yeah.
You know, like it. And there are times when I'm fully aware. Like, say I'm having a shower, I'm like, oh my god, damn.
Yo.
Yeah,
no, I know the feeling of like literally having to fetch the bucket and just use that, and it was never hot. It was just cold water, like all the time, because
we heated it up, to be fair.
We didn't, but like Nigeria's already hot, but like but still it was just like, this is your bucket, go shower. If you want more, fill it up again. So no,
and I love that. And like I said, just being outside and being a child is just something that, like, you know, like you hear parents today be like, oh, these kids these days don't go outside. But it's like, how involved are you in? Because you have to realize that other kids are not doing that. Yeah. So then it's your responsibility as the parent to entertain the kid like the kids would outside.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you have to do the creative stuff and like make puzzles with them and all that. And you have to be as involved as a parent if you want them to be like patient
and everything like that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Damn, no. Thanks for telling us a little bit about the inside of a child in Romania growing up, and your contrast between that and Ireland, like, you know.
So different.
So different. And obviously the kids today are completely different. But yeah, I know that's pretty interesting. And it's pretty cool to see, like, even though you guys are like on the outside the world, it's somewhat similar to like, obviously, like, that's something we can do if you guys are interested in like Nigeria, like kind of like growing up there as a kid, like is very similar backgrounds, and it's pretty cool to see that, you know, like. But I think like when it comes to like just like being poor or not well off is all, like we all kind of have to make do what we have, you know, like there's no other way about it. So like it makes a massive difference. So of course we all have like similar enough upbringings, and obviously like the West is so advanced in comparison to where we grew up, that like, you know, like the people who grew up the same age as us did not have the same experience as us, you know. Like we had more of the experience that like their parents had growing up.
Exactly.
You know,
because
like,
I remember one time at work, these guys were talking about growing up and, you know, something like electricity going out or something, and having to play outside, you know. And he said to me, oh, Nicola, you know nothing about that. And I just had to laugh.
Girl, let me tell you something.
I just had to laugh. I was like, interesting. I literally grew up with no internet, like no running water. I think I had it worse than you, and you're a lot older than me, you know?
Exactly.
So it just kind of puts things into perspective a little bit.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, no, tell us what you think about this episode, if you enjoyed it. You know,
I know my mom will love this one.
Your mom's gonna obviously love it. Like, obviously this is a little different from what we normally do, but you know, sometimes we just want to give you guys some insights into our lives, you know.
What brought us here today.
You know, what brought us here today, and like see what you guys think. And let us know. Do let us know. And if you want me to do one for Nigeria, I'll happily do that. That's a bit of a crazy one.
Whether you guys want it or not, it's happening.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a crazy one still as well. So, but and like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole thing, And
Till next time.
peace.